Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin from Florals.com and today I have another DIY home decor project for you all. Last time I shared a DIY wreath, this time I'm doing a wood decor piece. These sort of wood decor pieces can be found in a lot of places like your local scrapbook store sometimes or your local craft stores. Definitely just be on the lookout. You can even find these kinds of things that you could easily repaint or redecorate at the Dollar Tree. So definitely be on the lookout for these kinds of things now that we're in the season of Halloween and Thanksgiving. There's definitely different options. I'm going to start by painting my pumpkin. You saw all of my supplies out there earlier. I have a lot of plans to do on this pumpkin, lots of different ideas. And I'm going to start by mixing two colors of paint to get an orangey yellow splotchy look. And then I'm also going to mix some greens to make the base a light green as well as the stem the same color. So the first step is to paint, and then you're going to let that dry. Now I have a special step in here where I'm going to be using a crackle medium from Folk Art. I've had this for a while and I've definitely tried to use it before, but this is my first time actually using it on a project, not just on a canvas. So it's this clear medium that you'll put down. It works best with acrylic paints. And essentially you have one layer of paint, then you put the crackle on, and then you put another layer of paint on top of that. And it should crackle the top layer of paint to reveal the bottom layer of paint. Now it does say to use contrasting colors for this, and I thought about doing a more rustic colored pumpkin, so like a white base and then a darker like plum colored top, a darker orange plummy color to get a nice white crackle through, but I actually did two different orange shades to try it out, and it definitely was a DIY fail. It didn't come out anywhere as I expected it to. I thought it was going to be a lot cracklier, but you'll see once I show you the dried finished product. But I'm just going to lay this on, making sure it's in the cracks and the crevices of this wood piece. I'm sure this medium probably works a lot better on canvases since it's a less porous surface, but so far so good. I'm just layering it on thick as possible, and you do have to let this completely dry before you put on your next layer. And I did think I was going to use this on both the pumpkin and the stem, but I decided it was a little bit too much to do both, so I do just use it on the pumpkin itself. So here I'm going to prep the next bottle of paint, which is a darker orange from Americana, just another orange I had. And I'm also starting to plan out my ideas for what I want the pumpkin to look like and how to cover some of my painting mistakes perhaps. So while I wait for that to dry, and it didn't take too long, I simply just got the orange paint, put it on my craft mat, and spread it on. Now you do need to spread on the top paint quite thick, and then I decided the dark orange wasn't dark enough, so I pulled out brown from Craftsmith to give it another layer of darkness. Overall the pumpkin looks quite muddy. Again, pumpkins come in all shapes and colors, so it's okay, but I do think that maybe I could have done a better job at picking out the colors. I could always repaint it. I just feel like I'm not going to. I think it looks fine the way it is. It matches the browns that I have in my living room, so I think it goes really well with the rest of the decor that I have. So as per the instructions on the crackle medium bottle, you do want to lay this on quite thick. I noticed even as I was painting that it was already started to crackle through, but you definitely can't really tell on video. Definitely takes a little bit of an eye to kind of pick that up. But if you look for the lighter color, yellow, orangey color, you can kind of pick it up through the bottom pieces, which is where I think the crackle medium went the most. Sort of dried better down there than the other sections. So now I'm going to let the top section dry, and now that I have a fully dried pumpkin with a little bit of crackling, I can start making my decor pieces on here. So you can see I have a giant metal word that says thankful, and that is actually from the Dollar Tree. Definitely a great find. I used them on my last project as well, so definitely check your local Dollar Tree if you haven't already for those. And now I'm using this ribbon, which is also from the Dollar Tree, which is just a bunch of little orange leaves put together. They had this in a multitude of colors, and just tucking it around the edge here, making sure to have it perfectly in line, and just going to use some hot glue to glue it down. It is more of a fabric ribbon rather than a burlap or a satin ribbon, just more fabric-y, so it's quite thick. So I definitely want to make sure the glue holds it down. And this is just traditional hot glue in a traditional glue gun that I've had in my stash for quite a few years, but it does the trick. So just making sure to securely fasten that all the way around, and then measuring it out with my scissors so they meet at the perfect spot, and so I don't cut off the leaf so it looks normal still. And it's simple as that to add a little bit of decor to anything. You could definitely use this ribbon for so many things like napkin rings or for decorating your napkins for Thanksgiving. Next up, I'm pulling out my twine. This twine's from the Target dollar spot a couple years ago. They definitely keep releasing twines throughout the different seasons, so definitely check out your local Target if you haven't already for a bunch of great supplies, as well as Walmart's carry these types of things in their craft sections for Halloween, so definitely check them out. This is just simple orange and white twine. I'll try to find a similar one and have it linked down below in case you guys are interested. There's definitely a ton of options available when it comes to baker's twine. I'm going to glue the 2 ties that I just did into place with my hot glue gun, and then tie a simple bow just to have a little fun on top of the pumpkin, since I know most of my embellishing is going to be on the bottom sections. I'm also going to trim the little ends quickly so it's not too long as to interfere with the other elements. And like I said, I have these other elements pulled out, and there were some painting mistakes at the bottom, and instead of just going to repaint them, I decided to glue down some more of this twine so it matches. And I'm just going to tuck it in with the hot glue and make sure it sticks all the way around after including a new hot glue gun, or a hot glue stick in my glue gun. It all works out. I'm just going to gather a bunch of twine and start wrapping it around till I cover up the desired spots. It just helps this transition part to be a little bit better. If I was thinking I should have used some painter's tape to kind of fix it up while I was trying to paint it, so I had some straighter edges. And I'm just going to glue the last piece onto the back so no one can see it. And I wrap this around quite a few times. This is also a great way to bring in more of that twine for centerpieces, to wrap them around vases or bunches of flowers or as napkin rings. And so I have these elements here. I'm trying to figure out the exact placement of these last bits. Mainly want the thankful to be legible, so I don't want to cover it up. And I'm just going to put some hot glue on the back of that. Now I will say, if you don't move fast enough when working with metal, your hot glue will dry pretty quickly because it is a colder surface, so the hot glue doesn't stay as hot as long. So you can see that this side sort of didn't stick at all. So I went back in with my hot glue and added more spots, so I made sure it was down and in place. And then I'm also pulling off the little bits of hot glue that you can kind of see, just to make sure they're off the main components so it looks nicer. And of course, with the wood texture, the glue really grabs onto those, so it's hard to get those little wisps of hot glue to go away. But that's it for this DIY. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know if you want to see more DIYs in the future, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!